It was 363 years ago the Pilgrims set sail for America from this dock at Plymouth, England. Today, the West Plains High School Choir was officially greeted by the citizens of Plymouth, Americans, welcome back to the land of their forefathers.
When guests are invited to meet top-ranking city officials, it's not just dropping by the office to shake hands. In England, it's an occasion, done up with as much pomp as they can muster and a bit of ceremony.
As we're all sitting comfortably, may I welcome you all to the Lord Mayor's parlour and council chamber. I'm wearing a fancy...
The choir was invited to be formally welcomed to Plymouth by the Deputy Lord Mayor. The Lord Mayor was not available, other duties out of town, so the Deputy Lord Mayor would have to do.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you welcome, please, our Deputy Lord Mayor and Deputy Mayor. This good man.
Being Lord Mayor or his deputy is about as close to royalty a common citizen can hope to achieve without marrying into the royal family.
I don't wish to make a long speech of this.
The Lord Mayor is the Queen's official representative for 1 year, something like being the assistant to the Assistant Secretary of the Interior in America, far down on the list, but on the list nevertheless. At the end of the ceremony, he presented Choir Director Kelly Dame with a Plymouth coat of arms. After the formalities, hospitality. Tea. Nothing in England is complete without tea. A time to chat, and a time that lasting impressions began to form.
They were both really nice. They just, you know, down home, and they really did want us to be there and everything, really. His wife acted just like normal, like they weren't stuck up or anything like, you know, movie stars over here or people like that, or like politics over here is.
You always hear about they don't like Americans over there. You know, that's what we heard all year long is, you know, they don't really like Americans, so be careful. But they were real nice, and they were just as curious about us as we were of them.
The afternoon was topped off with an impromptu concert. While the local newspaper photographer snapped his shots, the choir sang what's called the unofficial state song of Missouri. All in all, it was an afternoon that left an impression on both hosts and guests.
Myself, it isn't as big as yours. But if we could sing like that, I'd be jolly proud. I'd be sticking my chest out there.
Well, I would like to say that it's a very long time, in fact I cannot remember, enjoying such wonderful singing as you gave us just now. It really was superb. And if that was the only thing I remembered from this visit, it would almost suffice by itself. Thank you all very much indeed, and goodbye.
The West Plains singers would meet other Lord Mayors on their tour, and they would also meet a few people who believe the system Lord Mayors represent doesn't work anymore. It's called Loo, a fishing village near Plymouth. Once people here made their livings from the sea, but now fishing's not as profitable as netting money ashore. Tourists, including groups like the Missouri Teenagers, descend on villages like this each summer. Local people can make a better living here by cashing in on travelers than casting nets. But others still keep up their boats, still bait their hooks.
All I want out of life now is to live and be happy and enjoy my holidays. I don't want aggravation now, see?
Joe Lingham says he's been fishing for 10 years. Before that, he worked for the government, where he says he saw every day why the bureaucracy is such a burden on taxpayers and unemployment is so high.
They don't want to work? They don't want to work, even if they got a chance for a job, they don't, do they?
Who are the people that don't want to work?
Well, loads of different people, you know. It's the same all the world over, isn't it? You get some people that work like hell all their life to earn a living, other buggers will lie about and do nothing. isn't it? I mean, so you get it in America, same as we do here.
Yeah.
Joe Lingham and others complain it's too easy to get welfare, and it's too hard to find hard workers.
And no bugger won't do a fair day's work for a fair day's money. And then it's aggravation, isn't it? Rat race. So...
You think all of England suffers from that problem you're describing?
Oh, yeah. Bloody hell, yeah.
What's going to change that, you think?
Well... The only thing I can see changing like it was before the war. You know, it's, everybody was bloody hungry, so when you get hungry and you've got to work to get crust to eat, then you'll bloody well work, won't you?
Many people say they find it discouraging to have a job, earn a living, and see their friends on the dole, on welfare. Richard Gacy sunk his life savings into his fishing boat. He's been at it a couple of years, but he sees others his age who are content to not work.
Do the people you know your age have jobs?
Yeah, there's a few that haven't, quite a few. Yeah, but a lot of them don't want jobs, I think. They're quite happy to stay at home, really.
Why don't they want jobs? What do they say? That they don't want jobs?
Well, no one's ever told me, really. It's just, pure laziness.
The people that work and pay the taxes, do you think they resent that?
That's right, yeah, I do, certainly. Yeah, it's not really fair, but then that's the way it goes, I suppose.
As the West Plains singers heard Britons talk about lack of work, lack of incentive, they said they began to realize that beneath the picturesque villages and cities, it was different in England. Less opportunity than they knew at home.
I don't think there's many jobs over there, and also I don't think there's very many women in non-traditional fields.
The one girl we talked to, she was 19 and talked about how tough it was to get a job, and she felt really fortunate because she had a job, a Saturday job, working at some type of a nursing home, and the job didn't sound like much of anything, and she was lucky to get it. And whereas back home here, you can go out within a couple of weeks or a month or so, you can find you a part-time job at McDonald's or some fast food place or something, and she was really lucky to find even a Saturday job.
A lot of kids over here, they're free to do mostly what they want when they're about 18. Whereas over there, a lot of them were still living with their mom and dads,
And as they visited places so different from the Ozarks, they began to sink in just how far from home they were.